World Press Freedom Day is held to remind governments of their duty to respect and uphold the right of freedom of expression as spelled out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The introduction of social media has dramatically changed the media landscape. Networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, and blogging platforms have become very popular among journalists. Social media experts say that such platforms have exposed media practitioners to a lot of threats.
You get harassed merely for maybe presenting a story a certain way, or for being seen to have a certain point of view. You get harassed by your audience. Say their feedback isn't as respectful, isn't as constructive, it's often very angry, and it makes journalists online, makes your life more difficult.
Susan Mirembe is a gender and sexuality activist. She says the threats journalists face on social media continue offline.
Because we all know that the people we meet on social media are also off social media. So that has also continued into harassment off social media, physical assault, people either following you home or things like that, intimidation.
One of the recent victims of social media threats is NTV journalist Gertrude Tumsime Witware. She was threatened on Facebook for expressing her opinions about a scathing attack by Makerere University researcher Stella Nyanzi against the First Lady. A few days after, the threat was followed through by armed men who abducted and warned her to stop posting such comments.
If an officer was given that case and he took it not serious at all, and it later on resulted into this, she could have lost her life. This officer must be questioned.
Many reputable media houses have policies on what their reporters can post on social media, but some journalists hold a different view.
If you would say it among friends in a real world, in the physical world, I think it's completely fine to say it online.
Article 29 of the Constitution guarantees freedom of speech, expression, and other media, but more often than not, there are reports of state machinery such as the police and other sympathizers of the regime who threaten the journalists, especially those who are using social media to express themselves about controversial issues, and in a way they try so hard to gag them. While police say they respect the media for the role they play in society, the force has been criticized for failing to protect journalists who are threatened on social media. How safe are the journalists when some reports indicate that police, you're number 4 of the perpetrators of violence against the journalists?
Own vicarious liability has taken the liability from the institution of the police and institution of government to an individual police officer. Anybody, it is against the law for anybody to use the media, mainstream media, social media for that matter, to threaten any other person.
Mirembe believes that there are other ways that journalists can seek redress.
We can seek redress from the regional bodies. We can seek redress from the African Commission, which has also issued statements about freedom of the press and freedom of expression.
So how can journalists stay safe in the wake of the surveillance by the government?
Being cognizant of what you're posting, about your physical location, and what it means for your safety.
Experts believe that a cell phone is not safe because it can be used by wrong elements to track journalists. Although journalists have been complaining of harassment, media freedom is not a right to irresponsible journalism. Sudil Biaruhanga, NTV.